is Europe headed in the right direction?
Probably, maybe.
No, that wasn't very confident. Probably, maybe.
He's feeling dark today, okay?
You feel
He's
what?
feeling dark.
You said you're feeling dark today.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, okay, news came out. We can see the headlines that everyone was crying about it. It's like, oh, the rise of the fascists and the right wing, and they literally labeled when they did the split of like how represented each party was. They were like left, left, center. And then right, and then extreme right.
Far right.
Super right, populist, super mega right, where they're going to kill everyone. And then I was like, okay, they're saying this. And whenever they say that, it's probably the opposite. So I had a...
When you're saying they, who's they?
You know
the
who.
European. Okay, no, I don't know. But if I were to guess, I'd probably get canceled.
In this case, it's not they, it's the left they.
Yeah,
okay?
But like, what? I'm sorry. So when you say that, like, Europe, who?
Talk about the media.
I'm
The
talking about
media in Europe.
Right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
media
And
in
our
Europe.
media too.
And our media too. Like if we can go to the titles, I mean to the articles, you guys can see that they were like very alarmist. There it is. You have the crybabies at Vox. What I hate those guys. They're the worst. And they're stupid.
They think they're smart.
All right, so you have why Europe is lurching into the right. Jesus Christ. What the far-right victories in the European Union means and what could say for the U.S. this year. So basically we have the situation, and as a general rule, they lean a little bit more to the right. But did they lean to the right? That's the question. Are they on the right track? That's the question. Because the thing is, we have a view of how politics works here. Our political spectrum is like if you go to Europe, the most leftist elected politician here doesn't come even close to a leftist politician there. Like, they're willing to do things and they're willing to go places. Most of the movements took place in Europe. Some of the thought leaders took place in Europe. You have a bunch of mentorships with people from the old guard to the new guard. Most of the people that are formed to take positions in the leftist movements, they're formed there in Europe. But to sum it up, it was a wild ride, and we had a bunch of parties that actually got some representation. The two main ones that we can see the split, in the next slide, is the ECR. These guys weren't represented, and they got these are the two parties they're complaining about. So is the ECR actually really far right? Not really. If you put them here, they'd be like middle, maybe center right-ish. And the Identity and Democracy Party, that also would be like center right at best. They'd probably be in the same political space as any rhino in the Republican Party, that they're barely right. They still go to lunch, they still go to dinners, they still overspend, and they still start wars. Mm-hmm. But the difference with these guys that the situation in Europe has gotten so much worse in a very fast manner. You have a bunch of immigrants coming in. They're committing violent crimes. They have different laws, so they start their own communities. There's a lot of places in the major capital cities of Europe. They're run by Muslim law. So why these people label far right? Because they want Europe for Europeans. And it's a funny thing, because I don't know if you guys saw the memes after this happened. And the memes were super obvious. The most obvious things, like America for Americans, Germany for Germans, Japan for Japanese people, Senegal for Senegalese people, and the thing is that especially with the decolonization movement, we're seeing that that Indo-European people are not welcome anywhere. Mm-hmm. I think. And it's by design. Like, most Western countries were established, but Indo-European people, that's a fact. Like, you just need to look at paintings of the founding fathers. And they created a system of wealth, of culture. And when people come in here and they don't adapt to the rules and the norms of the country. And the funny thing is, most of them are fleeing. They're either fleeing religious oppression, they're fleeing communism, they're fleeing a bunch of things, and they come here for the same reasons that we like this place.
Hey, quick question. So,
Yeah.
why is there a bad connotation around the word populism and being a populist? Like, I always thought of that as being a good thing. I haven't like that. That's the term of just like the consensus of the people, right? Or am I wrong?
They view them as not the experts. So it's just public rage. It's just, mere opinion. It's not the wisdom of the social scientists.
Can
But
we-
the thing is
What's
that there's
populism?
no populism. It's a term. It basically means what I was just saying. Like, it means popular support for a loud demagogic president. So someone who's just like playing into public fears and public concerns, but not a lot of analysis going on.
According
for,
to
like, the core
Wikipedia,
issues.
populism is a range of political stances that emphasizes the idea of the people and often juxtaposes this group with the elite. It is frequently associated with anti-establishment and anti-political.
Yeah, I'm a populist.
But
I mean,
so-
it sounds like democracy, but just not for the person they want you to like.
Yeah.
Like think of it like this, like when so like populism is usually associated with the right because their populist reaction is to the elite. The elite now is the left.
Right.
Yeah.
When the left was not in power, they were seen not as populists but as Democrats in the old sense of the term, like pro-democracy, and their elite was the bourgeoisie. No, I'm talking like
Like when Bush was...
Pre-50s.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm saying, the left took over after World War II, and
Yeah.
they seized the institutions in the 60s. That was the sexual revolution, the civil rights revolutions, the socialist revolutions in
The
France.
anti-war movement.
So the anti-war movement, the hippies got in control of all the schools, and then they taught a whole legion of kids, and now you have modern America and modern Europe.
I wasn't really prepared for this, but it's a really good point, Brandon. All these words, they have an intrinsic meaning and they have an extrinsic meaning. You know, they have a connotation and they have a definition. All right. If you go to Wikipedia like Rob did, you will find the definition of the word.
Yeah.
And then the connotation of the word is different, and what it means to the inside group, like the intrinsic meaning of the word, is one thing, and what it means to the outside group, it means a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you brought that up because people, since Trump took office, okay, the main talking point is so divisive. It's divisive. It's dividing. It's so
Polarizing.
It's polarizing and it's dividing. And in order to and that word divisive or polarizing, they have a perspective, okay? And even people that are in the center, maybe center right, they're against dividing and they're against polarizing. And what that really means is that these people that don't know anything, they're veering away from the greater good.
Yeah.
Like, we know what's
Which
good
is
for
what
them.
we say.
That's what we say.
Yeah.
So this is the greatest good. You will eat your bugs. You will do your thing. You will do that.
Pay your carbon taxes.
And what they're saying is that a large amount of the population is veering away from their objectives.
Right.
And that then the populism thing comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to have an illegal. With tents in your garden, because they might do something bad to your daughter, or they might steal something, or
Just weird and not convenient, plain and
yeah,
simple.
So
That means you're a populist.
So-
Yes.
That means
I am a
basically
proud populist.
a-
and I'm
a
proud to
stu-
say it.
When they say it, it means a stupid right winger who's just having a knee jerk reaction to
course.
real problems in our world today, and these are climate refugees. And instead of being against immigration, what we need to do is we need to create fourplexes in everyone's backyards that are subsidized by the government. And, like have mass public housing in the middle of every single suburban town.
Give
and
them 10,000 a
That sounds
month.
nice.
Give them even
give
more
10,000
incentive
a month because we have
bring
to
in.
adapt to our changing world. But the thing is that we don't need to adapt to it. They need to adapt to us because they are coming from failed civilizations. Like you said, climate change, wars, religion, it's failed civilizations.
It
That's
is
the
failed
umbrella term. So why would we want to learn from them, or why would we want to make our ideas equal to theirs? Our ideas are clearly the successful ideas. They want to come here. So
Right.
you don't have this cultural relativism. You should be in favor of our culture being the dominant one, but then you get called populists by these idiots who've been trained by left-wing professors of the last 50 years or so.
And
Yeah, it just feels like such an unaware way they're trying to insult us though, because like I can't think of a single negative thing about that, and I think anybody who like looks at the word and tries to analyze it, or like someone understands what it means, like would feel the same way.
Well, the same like nationalists too.
it's a matter
Right.
because Brandon, it's a matter of perspective. Okay, it's a matter of perspective, and they play the two sides of the aisle because, and it makes me mad. And this links back to the useless wars that we've been having, because they call themselves Democrats,
Yeah.
and democracy is an excuse to kill the whole country. It's an excuse to put people in jail. It's an excuse for everything. So what is democracy? It's people having the popular vote and electing the people that lead their country, nation, or state.
Literally sounds like
So-
the same thing as populism, but just
Yes.
not like with in their
so,
favor.
So when they're talking about democracy, like the extrinsic meaning, we all think that we know what democracy is. It's that you go vote and you elect a guy to do your thing. But when they talk about democracy, it's something completely different.
Yeah.
And when they talk about populism, that all democracies should be populist.
Yeah.
They're talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
Like, we're not divided. Some people realize that they have different opinions.
Dude, exactly. And like when you go around and talk to anybody, you realize you agree for on the vast majority of things with like 80% of people that you talk to, and then that's what populism is. There's not a lot of crazy people when you go around just speaking to people on the street.
By the way,
Unless you
Humberto,
live in California.
Yeah, even that though, like Trump got a pretty warm welcome when he went to California this past week.
That's true.
that's
yeah.
the normal
I mean,
person, the average person, but yeah, not in Skid Row. But
Yeah,
but the thing is that these so-called far right groups in Europe, like the AfD that was just created in like 2014, they are not actually right wing in any stretch of the imagination by like historical standards, as Humberto was saying, because like all they're saying is we don't want people to build like public housing in my backyard.
Yeah.
What would be truly far right in my mind is monarchy, like restoration of monarchy and restoration of priest classes, and like full on like no, like the average person has no rights.
Yeah.
So that's how right and left, the right and left terms were created referring to the French Parliament after the Revolution. So the left side of it was pro-revolution. They were in favor of overthrowing the kings and instituting common rights for all people. And the right side of it was in favor of restoring the monarchy. So to think that these basically like suburban like liberal Democrats who just simply don't want mass immigration constantly in their countries are far right is the most ridiculous thing in the world.
That's a great point.
It is the most ridiculous. It's made up. I think most people know what's best for them. I think that people that come here, like I come here, with good intentions, they should find their place. Like the way I think it, I should be, when I go and live in a neighborhood, I should be the best neighbor you can possibly have. That's my task to integrate. Like, I want my neighbors to go like, oh, this guy keeps his yard really, really clean. Oh, this guy helped me out the other day to change a tire. So, like, I want people that are welcoming here. I want to fall into their customs. I want to integrate with them, and I want to be something better. So they go like, oh, Humberto, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, you're adding to this place.
You're adding to this place.